Fighting between the US and Iran has flared up again, dragging the Strait of Hormuz back into chaos. After a fragile truce, both sides resumed strikes this past week. The US hit dozens of Iranian military targets near the strait. In a 7-hour operation, Iran fired back at US-linked facilities in Bahrain, Kuwait and Jordan, and then shut the strait entirely, vowing that it stays closed until the end of America's evils. Washington reimposed a naval blockade on Iranian ports, and Iran is now threatening to shut down other shipping routes as well, possibly leaning on the Houthis to close the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait near the Red Sea. That will put two major oil routes at risk at once. Today, Iran went further, warning that it would crush regional infrastructure if the US strikes Iran's civilian sites, as fresh US strikes hit Qasem Island, Bandar Abbas, and Chabahar. So how many ships are currently stuck at the strait? Estimates vary by tracker, but the trend is clear. Only 57 ships crossed the strait in 3 days last week. That's less than half the normal pace. At one point, just 6 ships crossed in 12 hours versus the usual 18 to 22 daily. On July 14th, Windward counted 41 crossings, with 10 vessels going dark to avoid detection, and around 6,000 sailors remain stranded in the Gulf, a number that could climb under the new blockade. And then oil prices. Brent averaged $103 a barrel early in the war, then tumbled to $78 after June's peace deal, dipping below $70 by July 1st as traffic resumed. And once fighting ignited last week again, Brent jumped over 4% in a day, and WTI climbed 11% in 3 sessions, with Brent hitting $85.92, which is a 1-month high. But why hasn't it spiked more? Analysts say that stockpiles have cushioned the shock so far. But while speaking to CNBC, Hamad Hussain warns that the market is nearing a tipping point, with the real risk now being an attack on energy infrastructure, a threat that Iran had just made explicitly today. Fortune's reporting backs that up. The market's calm doesn't quite add up. Reserves are still drained, refineries haven't restarted, and China hasn't resumed buying oil. But once it does, expected by late August, prices could jump towards $90. And as one analyst put it, there's a bill that's coming due, which basically means that Iran won't likely reopen the strait freely. It may push for a toll system, keeping flows constricted for months. Meanwhile, the US emergency reserves sit at its lowest since 1983, so the safety net is thinner than it looks.